New this morning, officials say one flight recorder has been recovered from Thursday's horrific Air India plane crash that killed some 290 people. A new angle shows the moment that Boeing 787 Dreamliner crashed.
June 12, 2025, 6:47 a.m. local time, Ahmedabad, India. A Boeing 787 Dreamliner accelerates down the runway, carrying the hopes and dreams of 242 souls bound for London. Within 30 seconds, those dreams would become a nightmare that would shock the aviation world. Air India Flight 171 never made it past 1,000 feet. In less than half a minute, what should have been a routine international flight became one of India's deadliest aviation disasters in decades. 241 people lost their lives. Only one man walked away. Tonight, we examine the evidence, the theories, and ask the question that investigators are still trying to answer. Was this a tragic accident, or something far more sinister? Flight AI-171 was supposed to be routine. A 9-hour journey from Ahmedabad's Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport to London's Gatwick. The passengers were a mix of business travelers, families, and students, ordinary people with extraordinary dreams. Among them was a young man who had just won a visa lottery, his first trip to the UK. Families returning from wedding celebrations and Eid festivities. A student who had been eating lunch just hours before, excited about starting university in London. The aircraft was a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, one of the most advanced commercial jets in the world. This particular plane had been in service for just 3 years, with an exemplary maintenance record. The crew was experienced, led by Captain Rajesh Sharma, a 15-year veteran with over 8,000 flight hours. At 6:47 a.m., Flight 171 received clearance for takeoff. Security had been routine. Weather conditions were clear. Everything appeared normal as the Dreamliner began its roll down runway 05. But within moments of lifting off, something went catastrophically wrong. CCTV cameras at the airport captured the final moments of Flight 171. The footage is haunting. A massive aircraft struggling to gain altitude, banking sharply to the left, then disappearing behind buildings. Aviation experts analyzing the footage describe what they see as deeply troubling. The aircraft never reached 1,000 feet, a critical altitude that would have given the crew options in an emergency. What we see in that footage is an aircraft in severe distress almost immediately after takeoff. The left bank, the low altitude, these are signs that something went very wrong very quickly. Air traffic control recordings reveal the crew's desperate final moments. At 6:48 a.m., just 30 seconds after takeoff, they transmitted a Mayday call, the international distress signal indicating immediate danger. The transmission was brief, urgent, Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. Air India 171. We have. Those were the last words from Flight 171. Seconds later, the Boeing 787 plummeted into a residential area adjacent to a college hostel, creating a fireball visible for miles. The impact was devastating. The aircraft struck the ground at over 200 miles per hour, completely destroying several buildings and leaving a crater 40 feet deep. Emergency responders rushed to the scene, but for 241 people aboard Flight 171, it was already too late. In the midst of unimaginable tragedy, there was one miracle. Ramesh Viswaskumar, a 34-year-old British citizen of Indian origin, somehow survived the crash that killed everyone else aboard. Viswaskumar was seated in 11A, near the front of the aircraft. In his first interview from his hospital bed in Leicester, where he was flown for treatment, he recounted those terrifying final moments. "I remember the plane shaking violently. People were screaming. I could see others dying around me as I tried to escape through what I think was a broken emergency exit. The heat, the smoke. I don't know how I made it out." Viswaskumar suffered severe burns and multiple fractures but remains the sole witness to what happened inside Flight 171 during its final moments. His testimony could be crucial to understanding exactly what went wrong. But his survival raises difficult questions. How did one man escape when 241 others perished? Was his survival purely chance, or does his account hold clues to what caused the disaster? Survivability in aviation accidents often comes down to microseconds and inches. where you're seated, how the aircraft impacts, even which direction you're facing, these factors can mean the difference between life and death. With the investigation still in its early stages, multiple theories have emerged about what could have caused Flight 171 to crash so quickly after takeoff. The first theory centers on mechanical failure. Boeing has faced scrutiny in recent years over various safety issues, and investigators are examining whether a catastrophic mechanical problem could have brought down the Dreamliner. The fact that this was the first crash of a 787 Dreamliner makes it particularly significant. These aircraft are supposed to be among the safest in the world. If there's a design flaw or maintenance issue, we need to know immediately. Weather has been largely ruled out as a contributing factor. Conditions were clear with light winds at the time of takeoff. But there's another theory that investigators must consider, one that's more sinister and has profound implications for aviation security worldwide. Could Flight 171 have been the target of a terrorist attack? While there's currently no evidence to support this theory, the circumstances raise uncomfortable questions. The rapid loss of control, the Mayday call followed by silence, the complete destruction of the aircraft, these elements have occurred in previous attacks on commercial aviation. We have to consider all possibilities. The timeline 30 seconds from takeoff to disaster could be consistent with an explosive device or some form of sabotage. But I want to emphasize we're talking about theoretical possibilities, not evidence. Indian authorities have been tight-lipped about security aspects of the investigation, but sources close to the inquiry suggest that passenger manifests and baggage handling procedures are being scrutinized with particular intensity. The flight's destination, London, makes it a potentially attractive target for terrorist organizations seeking maximum psychological impact. International flights from India to Western capitals have been targeted before. If this was terrorism, it would represent a significant breach of aviation security. Airport security measures worldwide would need to be re-evaluated. The economic and psychological impact would be enormous. But investigators caution against jumping to conclusions. The cause of the crash remains unknown, and speculation about terrorism, while understandable, could hinder the investigation. Beyond the theories and investigations lies a simple, heartbreaking truth. 241 people lost their lives on June 12, 2025. Each had a story, dreams, people who loved them. The Patel family, 3 generations traveling together to attend a wedding in London. None survived. The youngest victim was just 18 months old. Dr. Sarah Khan, a medical student who had just completed her degree in Mumbai, was heading to London to begin her residency. Her parents describe her as brilliant, compassionate, someone who wanted to save lives. The crew of Flight 171, 7 experienced professionals who died trying to save their passengers. Captain Sharma left behind a wife and 2 young children. The crash has devastated not just families but entire communities. In Ahmedabad, Leicester, London, and dozens of other cities around the world, people are mourning the loss of friends, family members, and neighbors. This tragedy has touched all of us. We're not just mourning the dead, we're questioning how something like this could happen. We need answers, we need accountability, and we need assurance that it won't happen again. The crash has also raised broader questions about aviation safety. If a state-of-the-art aircraft can fall from the sky in 30 seconds, how safe is air travel? Disasters like this shake public confidence in aviation. The fact that we don't yet know what caused it makes it even more frightening. People need to understand what happened before they can feel safe flying again. 3 days after the crash, investigators from India, the United States, and the United Kingdom continue working around the clock to determine what brought down Flight 171. The aircraft's black boxes have been recovered and are being analyzed. Preliminary data should be available within weeks, though a final report could take years. Boeing has dispatched a team of engineers to assist with the investigation. Air India has grounded its entire 787 fleet pending the outcome of the inquiry. But for the families of the 241 victims, these technical details provide little comfort. They want answers, not just how their loved ones died, but why. We need to know the truth. If this was preventable, if someone made a mistake, or if security failed, we need to know. These 241 people deserve justice. The investigation into Air India Flight 171 continues. Was it mechanical failure? Human error? Or something more sinister? Until investigators release their findings, the families of 241 victims and millions of air travelers worldwide are left with questions that demand answers. One thing is certain, the 30 seconds that brought down Flight 171 will forever change how we think about aviation safety. The question is not whether we'll find the answers we need, but whether we'll have the courage to act on them. This documentary is based on publicly available information as of June 13, 2025. The investigation into Air India Flight 171 is ongoing. No terrorist involvement has been confirmed or substantiated by authorities. Our thoughts are with the families and loved ones of the 241 victims.